All right, hello, welcome back. For those who are interested, I am still clear off the weed. It's been a month, 20 days now. As far as I know, I'm gonna last 2 months. Like I said before, it's honestly it's only getting easier and easier every day. But yeah, mentally strong, physically doing good and all that. I did want to touch a little bit on mental health. I believe it's Men's Mental Health Month. But yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with just men. Just I feel like it would be a good opportunity to talk about it. And I want to preface by saying, first of all, I'm no expert. Like every other video, I'm just speaking off my own experience, hoping it can enlighten people and help whoever's listening. Second of all, I don't want to pretend I'm doing anything groundbreaking here. And this is my honest opinion, I think the more people that we have talk about it, be open about it and honest about it, the better it is, right? Obviously, and this is awesome, hundreds, thousands of people out there speaking out about their mental health, what they go through. And that's what we need, right? Because it's one of those things where you can't see what's going on. You only see what happens, when it's too late or when something happens. It affects a lot of people, if not everyone, in varying degrees, obviously. There's some people that suffer a lot more frequent and a lot more serious than others. Each and everyone on this earth will deal with at some point in time. That's just a fact. So whether it's a deep sadness, depression, anxiety, and the list goes on. Obviously, there's varying degrees, but they're all as important as the next one. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't matter how rich you are. It doesn't matter how happy you seem. It doesn't matter, like I said, your success, the amount of money you have. Anyone can be, you never know what's going on behind closed doors or up here, right? And I feel like a pretty big stigma is, not that it's not that serious until it gets to that point, but it should never get to that point, right? You can have issues of that variety without actually being suicidal. It doesn't have to be that bad to be talked about. It doesn't have to be extreme, almost constant anxiety for it to be an issue, which is another reason I think we should talk about it more and break that stigma. Like, obviously, if you knew that someone was on the verge of of, dealing with it in a bad way or committing unalive, obviously, you would stop him. You would try to be there for him as much as you can. But the issue is, for some people, it almost takes it to get to that point for people to help him out, for actions to be taken against it, right? Which is a big problem. So I think one of the main reasons that there has been a surge in situations and people talking about it is that we were stuck at home for 2.5, 3 years, right? So whether that caused great sadness, loneliness, depression for a lot of people, anxiety disorders. I know a lot of people, including myself, that those things happened during the closures. And I can speak for myself when they say that they even stuck around after, right? It actually took a couple years, I would say, to properly, and it still affects me now, but it took at least a couple years to recognize it, address it, and start doing something about it. So I think that's another reason why right now is the perfect time to talk about it, because a lot of people are starting to realize that they do live with it, or people that they love that they are around live with it, and that there actually is a way to change that. That you're not forced to live like that every day, right? In some cases, it's easy to recognize someone else going through it. So you notice, hey, they're not on their usual behavior. Or, hey, my friend, my mom, my significant other is acting a little down, a little different. It might be easier to notice with them, whereas for you, you have to catch yourself. You have to find when something's off and address it. Don't be blind to what's going on up here. But yeah, me myself, man. I don't want to get super into it, but I've definitely battled with some stuff, especially in those 2 years of closures. I want to say that was almost the worst. The worst of it was during that time, and as much as so at that time during the closures, I did live with we were 4 5 people at the most at that time, and even with a house full of people, weirdly enough, it's that time that I found myself enclosing myself alone the most, and when I really started doing that, it's just because I had so much built up, and not just social anxiety, but just in general, that I didn't even want to talk to anyone, even if it was on off topic, like something I like to talk about. I didn't want to, yeah, socialize or be with others, just because I wasn't even comfortable with myself. And to this day, obviously, I'm not as bad. There's select people that I really like to hang out with and that I see, at the gym or during my free time. But some of that definitely still lingers, and I want to say that it's rooted in that like discomfort with myself. I've always been okay with hanging out just with myself, but I'm just saying this because I did notice during that 2 years, during that spike in, stress, anxiety, and that it did bring loneliness and almost a fear of others in a weird way, but really it's just like social anxiety that came from all that. And I just pinpointed it to it did come from that time. So I don't know if you guys can tell, man. Like this is kind of hard to talk about. Um, yeah, because I don't want to get too deep, but I do want to give you guys my honesty without revealing too much. But all to say, man, like you're not alone, and you know, like I was saying earlier, the most successful person your favorite actor, whatever musician, the richest guy, your family friend or your friend that you think has it all, he's got his own demons, man. He's got his own battles. It's not always sunshines and roses. And it's a part of life, as in it will come up. You got to find a way to deal with it. You got to be honest with yourself, which is I think the reason it lingered and still did a little bit and still does a little bit so long is it took me that long. It took me minimum 3 years just to be honest with myself and realize like, yo man, there's actually something going on. Not just like brush it off, put it to the side, but be honest with myself and be like, okay, this isn't how it should be. Like it's not, no, really, like it's not normal to just feel like this all the time. Right? Like let's take some steps. Let's do something about it, right? One of the reasons that I did quit smoking every day, that I started doing that month, and I'm on the path of just stopping completely, because my anxiety would just like, it was at the point where every time I smoked, it would just come back, and no, I definitely wouldn't make the ongoing stress better at all. Like no, it definitely made it worse, which helps now. Like I said, I'm in a much better place now in general, not just because I stopped smoking, but properly dealing with the stress. And one thing, I try to practice what I preach, but talking to others about it, especially as a guy, I don't know why. As a guy, it's so hard for a lot of us to just talk about our emotions, but we're just wired like that, I guess, eh? But it's so important, and whether it's a friend, preferably a close friend, or a significant other, someone, a family, just someone that I think it's important to talk about it, A, but B, or sub point, that it's someone who actually cares, man. Even if there's nothing they can do, there's just a fact that getting stuff off your chest, just talking about how you feel, it just I don't know chemically what it does in your brain, but it just helps. It just feels so good. That's definitely important. Another thing that I've been doing that definitely helps is prioritizing self-care. So for me, a big part of that is the gym, physical activity, eating good, so stuff that'll make me feel good. And what I mean by that, I'm a big advocate for this, as in um scrap the short-term joys for the long term. So anything that just it's just gonna stress you out more, man. So anything that's like drugs, porn, or like any addiction or all that, like that's take it from me, man. Anything negative like that is just gonna make you feel worse, and not just worse inside, but worse stress wise. It's just gonna amplify it in the long run. So cutting that out, and like I said, prioritizing self care, so stuff that'll relax you, so meditation. Do something outside, do something like actually fun with your friends, as opposed to just getting like messed up on the weekends or whatnot. Going to the gym, joining a class, or going biking, whatever. Uh, Very good for stress, for sure. Seeking professional help as well. This is an iffy one, but yeah, I don't want to touch too much on this because, like I said, I have zero say, I have zero degrees, knowledge on this, whatever. But thankfully, the fact that this is becoming more of a popular topic makes it that seeking professional help is not as awkward or foreign as it was before. There's a lot of online resources out there. You don't even have to go in person to go see a psych or someone to talk to nowadays. Top of my head, there's well, you can look it up. Top of my head, right now, I know there's BetterHelp, where you can hire someone to talk to, like a psych or whatnot, and on your own time, quick little call, email, chat, set it up. It's if you really feel like you need it, I would at least do one session. I highly recommend it. And in a weird way, it can be easier to talk to a stranger than people you're close with or family or whatnot. Especially if you're a shy guy like me, I find for some reason talking to someone who doesn't know you at all and who you've never met, just letting loose to them, I don't know why, but it can be a lot easier, right? It can be freeing to just let it out there. And another thing too, like I said, just to talk about it. And I'm not saying to go out there and like make it a topic of conversation, as in like when someone asks you what's going on at work, be like, oh, I'm good. I'm just like stressed the fuck out, man. I got like mad anxiety and shit. No, that's not what I mean, but I just mean around your close friends, around the people that care about you, your family, make it normal, right? It's like if someone asks, "Hey, how's your like broken arm that's been bothering you for a month?" Make it okay, make it normal. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into it. I just wanted to shed light on it. Like I said, I think the more people talk about it, the better it is. Yeah, and I'm liking these type of just honest, just me and the camera type of videos. I hope at the least this helps someone who's been thinking about talking to someone or seeking out, or you know what I mean, who's been dealing with these type of things since the closures, or if this is new, whatever, to just do something about it, man. You don't have to technically go see a psych right away or tell someone but just at least, like I said, what really helped me at first is be honest with yourself, recognize it and address it at first. Recognize it and address it first, and then go about it. I know this is kind of like a weird video today, a little different one, but I just wanted to keep it kind of open, shed light on it, normalize it as much as we can. I'm glad that it has been normalized even more in the last, I want to say, like 5 years. I feel like growing up, yes, I was younger and it wasn't as much of a burden on me, but I feel like growing up, this would have been unheard of, like people properly talking about it. But it's so awesome now, all the resources, I think it's awesome. I think we should keep it up. But yeah, two thumbs up on that. Um, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for all the support, all the views, all that. Yeah, see you guys in the next one. And take care of yourselves. Eh? That's the most important. All right, later.